All right, guys, so to begin your clay fish, you're gonna receive a piece of clay that is about the size of a baseball. You're also gonna need some clay tools and a cup of slip. You're gonna share this with your table. Slip is just water that has been mixed with clay, and this is what we use as the glue to stick pieces together with wet clay. So to start your fish, you're going to take some pieces off of your main ball of clay, and we're gonna put them to the side. We're gonna make ourselves a little section of our mat called a bank. This is gonna be where we reserve pieces of clay for later. So in your clay bank, you're gonna need 2 pieces for eyes for your fish. 2 small pieces. These are about the size of a grape. And then you're gonna need 1 more piece, and this is about the size of a small kiwi, and that's gonna be what we make the fins and the tail out of. So I have 2 small pieces for eyes, 1 larger piece for tail and fins. So then with the rest of your clay, you're going to roll this into a ball, the best that you can. And it does not have to be perfectly smooth for this. All right, so then I'm gonna take my ball that I just rolled, and I'm gonna form this into a cone. So I'm gonna take my hands and form a V like this. So if you look from the top, my hands are making a V, and I'm gonna set the ball of clay in that point where my hands meet. And then I'm gonna start just gently pressing and rolling to get the back of that ball to turn into more of a point. And you don't want it to be like all the way to a point, you just want to taper them a little bit. So that is just about perfect. So then on the big side of my cone, because that just made kind of a cone shape, I'm gonna put my finger in the center, just like this. And I want to push down until my finger is a little bit past halfway. So if you could see through this with X-ray vision, you could see that my finger was about right here, and that's great. Okay, and then I'm gonna start pinching the side of my cone and my thumb together. So I'm gonna pinch, turn, pinch, turn, pinch, turn, and you can see as I'm pinching, this hole is getting bigger. So I'll show you from the top. Pinch, turn. I'm just gonna go all the way around. If you notice, as I'm pinching, I'm trying to keep the sides of my cone diagonal. So I'm not like pulling it or stretching it. I'm trying to keep my hand kind of diagonal like that so it stays in a cone shape. When the sides of your clay or the walls of your clay are about the thickness of your pinky finger, you can stop. So if your walls are as big as your thumb or even bigger than that, then you need to keep pinching. All right, so then at this point, you can take your cone shape that you have made and you can gently press it on your mat so that the bottom flattens out, because we want this to be able to sit on a table. So you're gonna go to your bank of clay and get the larger piece that's about the size of a kiwi, and we're gonna break this into half first, and then we're gonna split the other half into half again. So now I have 3 pieces, so I have 2 for the fins, 1 for the tail. So for the tail, I'm gonna make an oval shape first. So roll it into a ball and then kind of roll it between your palms a little bit to make it more of an oval shape. And then I'm going to flatten it a little bit with the palm of my hand, so this bony part right here. And then I can use my thumb or my fingers, and I'm gonna push in the middle and kind of start bending that piece of clay to make 2 points on the end. So it's gonna stay curved on the back, and then the ends are gonna be 2 points. Okay, so that's gonna be his tail fin. And then the other two pieces we're gonna make into his side fins. So you're gonna roll both of those into a ball. And then we're gonna make teardrop shapes out of these. So kind of like we did with the cone, you're gonna put that in the V of your palms where they meet together and start rolling that to make a small cone. Okay, and then I'm just gonna gently flatten those with the palm of my hand, so the bony part right here, to make that teardrop shape for a fin. So once your fins are finished, then you're gonna smooth your pieces out before you attach them. So this step is important because I have a lot of little cracks and marks that I don't want to show, and once I attach them, it's gonna be a lot harder to smooth them out. So I'm gonna get my slip and I'm going to just get a little bit on my finger and use that to kind of fill in those cracks and smooth my pieces. So rub that all the way in, and you can see that is much smoother than it was before. All right, so I am ready to attach all of my pieces. So for this part, you're gonna use 4 steps. We're going to scratch, we're gonna slip, we're gonna stick, and we're gonna smooth. So scratch, slip, stick, smooth. The first step is scratch, and that means you have to rough up the clay wherever you are attaching. You're gonna do your tail first. So at the back of your fish, you're going to scratch where your tail is going to go. And this just helps the clay stick together more. It kind of makes the clay like Velcro, and it can lock together. And then when it dries in the kiln, it won't pop apart, because 2 smooth pieces of clay will probably just pop apart in the kiln, but 2 rough pieces of clay will lock together. So I'm gonna scratch, and I'm gonna scratch on the tail where the tail is gonna touch the body. And I'm using a needle tool for this. If you don't have a needle tool in your box, you could use this like knife tool, the flat part, and just kind of cut little scratches, but you want it to be really, really rough, like Velcro. So scratch is done. Then I'm gonna slip. So I add some slip, pat it in those cracks. Then I'm gonna stick, and I'm kind of wiggling it on there so that all of those cracks and the slip kind of smush together. And then the last step is smooth. So you can see this left kind of a lot of that slip squishing out. So I'm going to use my finger, or you could use a tool if you want, and you're going to smooth out where those 2 pieces touch. And the goal is you don't want to see a crack anymore. So if you smooth it enough, it will look like one piece of clay. And that will also help it stick together in the kiln. All right, so I have scratched, I stuck it on, or I added slip, I stuck it on, and I smoothed it out. So the tail is finished. Then I'm going to do the same thing for the fins. Okay, and then this part's kind of hard because my fins are flat on my body, so I'm just going to use my finger and smooth around the edges. So you might still see a little bit of a seam for these, but it's okay. So then after you attach your fins and your tail, then you're going to attach your eyes. So it's the same way. You're going to scratch where you want your eyes to go. And then I'm also going to scratch the bottom of the eye. And then stick. Okay, and then the last part is smooth. So I'm going to smooth out where that slip kind of squished out. And then for the centers of the eyes, you can choose a tool that has a circle on it. So like the needle tool is a good one. Or you could even use like the back of a pencil eraser. If there's no eraser left, that would make a good circle. And you're just gonna stamp that carefully into the center of the eye. All right, so there is my fish's eyes and his mouth. So then before we put these away, if there are details you want to carve on your fish, you can use any of the tools to do that. So like maybe you've got a popsicle stick in your clay toolbox, so you could press that curved edge onto his back to make some scale texture. You could also use that same popsicle stick or a needle tool or a wire tool. Maybe I'll try that and stamp some lines on the tail. So once you have your fish finished, and everything's attached and it's all smoothed out, then here is how you put it away. Okay, so you're gonna have white scraps of paper on your table. You're gonna write your name and class code. If your fish is completely finished, so mine is completely finished, you're gonna put that piece of paper in your fish like this, and then you're going to put it on my clay cart. If you have pieces that you didn't get finished today, so let's say you didn't get your eyes attached or your fins attached, I am going to give you a Ziploc bag. You're going to put your fish and your pieces that you didn't get finished in the bag and your name tag in the bag. So bags are only if you're not finished. This helps keep your clay a little bit wet so you can finish it next time. However, if yours is ready to go, then we need to let it dry, and yours is gonna go on the cart like this.